Hey, welcome to the BAM Woman Show live with Jen and Toyia. We are back for another episode. Thank you for joining us for season 2. We are on the PGN TV network, which streams on all streaming platforms. Um, we have an amazing guest today. She's been with us before. Her name is Miss Beverly, the owner of Genesis Fitness. She's a health coach. She has a goal to empower women to reinvigorate their lives through diet, fitness, and so much more. Um, Without further ado, let's bring on Miss Beverly Johnson.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for inviting me back.
Yes, it's been almost a year.
It has.
Oh my gosh, yes, it has definitely. So let's see what you have going on, what we've missed, what we need to support. Let's just dive right in.
Absolutely. So over the last year, my business took off.
Okay.
And in the course of it, I think what's this 2022, I'm officially in year 7.
Wow.
And in this
Congratulations.
space, I wanted to ask myself, what have I learned? What has worked? What hasn't worked? And it takes courage to sit there and ask yourself the hard questions, not just in business, but in your personal life as well.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of last year, I did an inventory across the board, what worked business wise. And when I got down to the business over the last few years, I noticed that there were, I would say, blind spots that I wanted to address in my own business.
Okay.
Because in one capacity as a personal trainer, my focus is really on just exercising.
Mm-hmm.
But as I started to evolve and expand my business out, I started embracing more of the coaching role. And as the coaching role, I started really working with my clients to tackle mental, but in certain aspects, we don't understand how mental and emotional roadblocks can hinder your exercise progress. Because if you're in the gym for 2 hours, then you turn around and you are an emotional eater, you're derailing everything you just did. If you
That
don't
makes
have
so much sense.
If you don't have the strength to address the ugly parts and start replacing the negativity with positive affirmations, you're going to emotional eat, feel guilty, and then you're going to guilt yourself in going into the gym. And when you have a negative entry point into fitness, you're not going to stick, because you're looking at it more as I gotta go because I just ate horrible over the weekend. And now that I ate horrible, what's the point of going? I'm never going to do right. And so I saw a lot of women spiraling over the last 18 months because it's easy to get into this vicious loop of what's the point? It's never going to change. I'm not good enough. I'll just stay this way. And when you tell yourself that repeatedly, you become what you speak.
Yes.
Because there's power in our tongue. There's power in what we say and think. And so when you tell yourself that narrative every time, then you don't see yourself worthy as getting out of that little funk or that little down space that you're in. Mm-hmm. And so as I was sitting here, I wanted to evolve the business into a full coaching aspect where I can address mental roadblocks, emotional roadblocks, as well as develop a wellness plan. So instead of my clients just coming for me to exercise, I am now developing a total wellness plan. And so that includes having curriculum, training modules, as well as having the exercise aspect.
Oh, wow. I love that. I'm one of those that spirals. Like I'll get like really just, okay, I'm going to do this. And it's all a mind thing. So what advice do you offer those who are like me, who spiral and fluctuate back and forth?
The biggest thing that I've seen when we start spiraling, because I've always said if we can binge watch Bridgerton and watch all 8 episodes in one day, we can set aside 45 minutes to do that. And so sometimes what I've learned is that it's not always a time problem. It is a lack of determination to see that we're worth the effort, because we'll make time for any and everything. Your whole Sunday could be packed. Let somebody say it's time for mimosas and brunch. We will clear the whole schedule. We will clear.
Yes, we will.
Everything. The moment you say mimosas, we're like, so what? Are we riding together? Or, I mean, how are we going to do this? Do I need an Uber? Because, you know, it is bottomless mimosas.
Right.
Has everything else takes priority. And over the last few years, I had to learn that my self-care and my wellness can no longer be negotiable. Because in order for me to be the best that I need to be for the world, I have to make sure that I'm sound across the board. And so many spaces I've seen women that are truly frustrated, not because we're exhausted. It's because we're exhausted and we've given everything to everybody and we're running on fumes. Yes. And we're hoping that somebody gives us permission to sit down.
And you know, you say running on fumes, it's like we get to that point to where we've already zoned out and we can't do anything else mentally or physically. So let's talk about self-care. We see all the self-care posts from different influencers and just throughout, you know, social media, TV, the radio, at time to regroup and take care of yourself mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually. All of it ties into one.
I think a lot of times we underestimate self-care, because it was one analogy that I heard that if I saw you walking around with a gaping wound, my first thing would be to tell you, let's get you care. Let's get your wound healed. Let's get you some medication, because I need that wound to heal. Yes. Because you know that wound can lead to poison and death. And so when it comes down to self-care, we've almost created this culture where you feel guilty. Yeah. Because we create this culture that's team no sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll do X, I'll do Y. Or you see people that are just like, well, you know, to get my goals, I don't sleep. I sleep on 2 hours of sleep. I can't, I'm not built like that. I will not function on 2 hours. And so we've developed this narrative where we will guilt you into needing a rest. Because the first thing they say, well, you know, your grandmama didn't need no rest. Big Mom, she did X, Y, Z. Well, I'm not her. Right. And so the first thing we want to do is bring in this whole thing where the ancestors and the elders didn't do that. And they also had other chronic diseases too, because they didn't rest. Yeah. And so when I talk about self-care, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't mean you have to go fly out across the country. That simply means that you're going to dedicate a night to put your phone on Do Not Disturb and watch a movie, or take a bubble bath and go to bed. Yes. So it's that space where you're just saying, I need some time to myself to decompress. Yes. And it's just one of those that if it's like, you know, it's a Friday, you can have a date day with yourself, treat yourself to a lunch and a movie. It's a space where you recognize you deserve something for yourself. Yeah. And I think we try to put a time limit on it, but I mean, if you can get 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, I mean, that makes a difference in your self-care and taking care of yourself. A few weeks ago, I did a staycation where I checked into a hotel for the weekend and I just went to sleep. They were like, where are you from? I said, about 10 minutes away. And in that space, I intentionally did a staycation because I didn't have the distractions of my house. I couldn't get up and go, I need to do laundry. I need to clean the bathrooms. I need to go to Home Depot. I need to go run here. So in the hotel, I had no distractions. And so I couldn't go, well, you know, while the commercials on, let me go run in here. And so we have to give ourselves permission to just stop for a little while.
Yes. I did that when I went to Las Vegas a month ago. Well, a couple months ago. And we were gonna go out that Friday night, and I got in the bed at like 7 and just went to sleep because I didn't have, like you said, I didn't have to think about anything at home or going to do this, that. And when I woke up, it was midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. But I went right back to sleep. But my body needed that. It needed that time to like just shut completely off.
I
And
do
so,
that on just about every trip where I intentionally don't make any plans the first night because I know what's going to happen. Once I get settled, eat dinner, get some snacks, by 8:30, it's a wrap.
mm-hmm.
And then the next morning I wake up like, oh, what time is it? I've been out for a minute. But it's one of those that even on vacations, we will run ourselves ragged, then get back like, man, I need a day off because I didn't get any rest.
For real. Yes. Let's talk about what people can expect with the rebrand of Genesis Fitness.
Well, the first noticeable rebrand is that Genesis Fitness is going away.
Oh, okay.
It will be replaced by a totally different name, totally different look. So all that I'm keeping under wraps because the website and everything's not ready. But the goal is to bring in more of the coaching aspect. And that includes training modules. That includes a book if I ever sit still long enough to finish it. So a lot of things are trying. My goal was initially that everything was going to roll out in this beautiful package and be ready and be like, ta-da! And true to life, none of that happened.
Yeah, that does not happen at all.
None of it has happened. Mm-mm. And so I had to, even in my space, walk the walk and give myself grace and say, you know what? You'll be finished when you're finished.
Yes.
And I had to tell myself, I'm not jeopardizing my health and my mental well-being to create this art that it was becoming self-imposed torture for myself. Because at some point I was like, hey, by March 1st, I'm going to have XYZ. March 1st is came and gone. We about to roll back to June. It'll get done when I get done. But the beauty of it is I know it'll be right.
It will. And I'm like you, I'm learning to not so much focus on the dates and the deadlines of stuff. It's so hard because it's like you set that date and it's like, okay, I got to have it done. I got to have it delivered, certain date and time. But we are looking forward to the rebrand, the name. We're going to take a quick ad break and then we're going to come back and talk with you a little bit more.
Okay.
Welcome back to the BAM Woman Show, live with Jen and Toyia. We are here with Miss Beverly Johnson. We are talking about the new things that she has going on, such as health coach, self-care, fitness, just yourself, your body, your mind. How can our viewers connect with you, support you, and follow you?
Oh, absolutely. If you are on Instagram, you can follow me at Bev K. Johnson. Right now, that's probably the only thing that's going to be left is the Instagram name. Follow me on Facebook at Genesis Fitness, GENESYS. That's going to hang around until everything is going. So the goal is not sweep and change so no one can find me. So people are like, where'd she go? So I'm trying to do it as it gets closer to the day.
Yes.
You'll start seeing the email address change. Things on Facebook are starting to change. But in the meantime, thank you all for supporting me over the last few years. I truly am grateful beyond measure for everyone that stuck it out with me. I'm just floored by my first two clients that called and were like, "We want you," and I was like, "But I'm not ready."
Yes,
They were like,
sometimes it's like we don't think we're ready, but it's like everybody else is like, you're ready.
and
You
that's
believe
what
it.
it was. And so those two phone calls meant more to me than anyone can ever. So
Mhm.
over the years, thank you for the knowledge, thank you for the love. And so this is just the next iteration to streamline the operation and give greater service to those that I have been called to serve.
Yes. What advice would you give to someone who was wanting to get into the fitness world, health coaching, and just overall self care community?
The biggest thing I had to learn is that you need to develop your messaging and
Mhm.
figure out who your niche is. The
Yes.
first thing when I hear anyone say, "Well, I'm called to everyone," I know then it is going to be problematic because everyone's not your target audience. Everything's
Mm-mm.
not your bag. And so
Right.
it's going to take a while to figure out who you will resonate to.
Right.
And some of that is based on your personality, onto your authentic self,
Yes.
not the influencer self you want to create, not this persona that you're trying to create, but
Mhm.
your clients will be drawn to your truly authentic self.
I love that. That is great advice. I mean, that's advice for anybody,
Mm-hmm.
not just, health coaching and fitness. But yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming back on the show and giving us an update of
Thank
everything.
y'all.
Look, we're excited for the new brand, for the new look. Can't wait to support you and when it comes out. I'm
I
excited.
appreciate y'all so much.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate you all for like just wanting to be on the platform and
Mhm.
supporting. Thank you.
Always.
All righty. Well, thank you. And we will talk to you. I know we'll talk to you again.
Mhm.
All
I'll be
right.
back.
Okay. Well, have a good one.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Miss Beverly Johnson is a phenomenal woman. Um, she will be doing a rebrand of her business. New name. Excited to support her, to see the new changes that she has coming forward. So follow her on Instagram at Bev K Johnson. If you need info at bevkjohnson.com. Also, she's on Facebook. So, this will conclude our show for tonight. Um, we will see you again next week. If you are looking to highlight your business, your brand, if you have an upcoming event, we still have openings for you to come on the show and talk about your journey, your business, your brand, anything that you have going on. So, y'all have a good night, and we will see you next week.